Another Moment with Bob brought to you by your friends at Offshore Drilling. This moment is entitled The Common Ground of Beasts. Hey, Mike. Fucko the clown, his miserable family, his rotten entourage, every single one of his voters, and the ruling Republican Party are all united in their shared love of hatred. And that is why things are only going to get worse before they get to the absolute worst. Can I define what that is? No, but then why bother? Getting there is half the fun. The modern-era Republican elite has historically had one agenda. They want to do whatever they want, make an obscene amount of money doing it, and then pay no taxes. That's it. The modern-era Republican elite wrap that agenda in the flag, the Bible, and Jesus, but those have always been smoke screens to obscure their real intent. Make money, pay no taxes. And, of course, they are insane. No sane person would destroy the land, air, and water for money, regardless of the amount. But that's what they do. You have to hate a mountain so you can destroy it to get at the coal buried within it. You have to hate clean water so you can pollute it while cracking the earth to get at the gas and oil. You have to hate the planet in order to plunder it. And the hatred doesn't stop there. They hate people. You have to hate people in order to feed them poisonous processed junk masquerading as food. You have to hate people in order to make a profit off their sickness. You have to hate people to deny them a living wage. You have to hate people to blow the shit out of them because they're in a different country living on top of resources you think are yours. And the hatred doesn't end there. Simply put, they hate everyone who isn't of their sex, color, or class. There have been oceans of ink used to try to explain this, try to explain how the elite recruited, there have been oceans of ink used to try to explain how the elite recruited millions of crazy, stupid Americans to vote against their best interests. Finally, one guy got it right. On April 6th, Mehdi Hassan wrote in The Intercept, "Top Democrats are wrong. Trump supporters were more motivated by racism than economic issues." Here's a few lines from that piece. It isn't only Republicans, it seems, who traffic in alternative facts. Since Donald Trump's shock election victory, leading Democrats have worked hard to convince themselves and the rest of us that his triumph had less to do with racism and much more to do with economic anxiety, despite almost all of the available evidence suggesting otherwise. If Democrats are going to have any chance of winning back the White House in 2020, they have to understand why they lost in 2016. And that understanding has to be based on facts and figures, however inconvenient or awkward. The Sanders, Warren, Michael Moore wing of the party is right to focus on fair trade and income equality. The calls for higher wages and better regulations are morally and economically correct. What they are not, however, is some sort of silver bullet to solve the issue of racism. As the University of California's Michael Tesler, author of Post-Racial or Most Racial, Race and Politics in the Obama Era, as he has pointed out, the evidence suggests that racial resentment is driving economic anxiety, not the other way around. Always remember, you have to identify the disease before you can begin to work on a cure. In the case of support for Donald Trump, the results are in. It isn't the economy. It's the racism, stupid. End quote. Back to Bob. What everyone in the media seems desperate to forget is that the United States has always been a virulent racist country. Always. Anyone who says differently has yet to read a history book. Americans did not give up their overt racism voluntarily. Laws had to be passed to force recalcitrant racists to comply with basic decency. A post-racial America is a myth believed by no one with a functioning brain. The Republican elite's primary propaganda machine, Fox News, has been pumping out racism, misogyny, and xenophobia for a generation. Millions of Americans aligned themselves to the message because they were already racist, misogynist, xenophobic assholes. They flocked to their TV sets and radios in order to have their assholery affirmed. The Republican elite and their crazy, stupid minions basked in the glow of their shared love of hatred. Enter Fucko the Clown. He shouted demented, racist, misogynist, xenophobic gibberish to crazy, stupid people from border to border, coast to coast, and they came and voted. Though falling short in the popular vote by almost 3 million votes, Fucko the Clown became President of the United States. Let the games begin. But first, a blast from the past. One question that used to intrigue me was how Hitler and the Nazis could have risen to power. How did a modern, industrialized, educated nation rapidly turn in a very short time into a killing ground for Jews? The answer was simple. Germany was always an anti-Semitic country. Collectively, the people just needed permission to jump into bloodlust. Hitler gave them a rationale, and they bought it. Of course, not all the Germans were Jew haters, but enough of them were, and the rest is history. Enter Fucko the Clown, President Fucko the Clown. The media pretends that all this is normal. No, it's not. It is so much worse than normal, I don't think there's even a word for it. If a suit-wearing orangutan flinging shit at the rest of the world from the White House is normal, then I guess everything is normal. Before Fucko intruded onto the American scene, I thought Dick Cheney, George W. Bush, Condoleezza Rice, Donald Rumsfeld, and the rest of the White House war criminals were the worst of the rancid cream that floated to the top. This new crew puts my imagination to shame. A few months ago, I was watching an interview with Russian and American journalist, author, and activist Masha Gessen. I thought I heard her say the possibility of going on to democracy after Trump. But what she actually said was the impossibility of going on to a democracy after Trump. The Nazis took Germany into a post-political world where there were no political solutions that could stop Hitler. Today, I think the United States has also entered a post-political world where there are no political solutions to stop the Republicans and Fucko the Clown. The only offer on the table is to join them in the shared love of hatred. That way lies madness, as the Germans learned, and Americans will. As a friend of mine wrote, something's going to happen, and you won't believe what is happening, even while it is happening. Regards, Bob. Another Moment with Bob, brought to you by your friends at Offshore Drilling.